Okay, folks, today is April 26th. It's around 7:11 p.m. Central Time. And the subject is I found these Topeka videos that I made using an older VHS video cassette recorder camera way back on May 14th, 2004. And I went up there, and took Roxy with me to see Pastor Butler. Billy Roper had a anti-Brown versus Bored of Education rally, and I called in to see Pastor Butler before he croaks tour. So I went up there to see Pastor Richard Butler, and when I was up there, I seen his chief of security, Rick Spring. I seen a few what I call deep woods dual seed line Christian identity people that I had seen in Missouri. There was one from Kansas. There was a real fat guy named Scott Roberts who lived in Topeka, who was mainly a Catholic, I think. Let's see. So I got a number of videos, and I had a video capture card, and I saved it. So what I'm going to do is put that raw video in two parts up, and then I'm going to put it up later with commentary and divide into sections. You had none other than Alex Jewboy Linder, the gut-sick Guido kikenweasel with Jew ass-GAIDS, or Crohn's, or like he likes to claim, ulcerative colitis, or Aryan ass-GAIDS now. But I got to see the little furtive little Jew boy. I got to see Craig Corn Cobb. Now he was on VNN at the time as chain 1965 immigrants. And you see him, he was very skinny. He was what? He was a decade younger than he is now, so he'd have been what, 53? And let me see, Ben Vineyard. Who else here? I see a few people here. Probably they're no longer in white nationalism, but I did see Linder, Billy Roper. Well, Butler's dead. He's been dead for over a decade now. He died in September 2004. And they had a European film crew. I didn't get the portion where Linder was talking to this little dark Swiss guy 2/3 the size, and Linder has the and he did it 2 years ago during the summer. What he'll do is if he sees what he thinks is a Jew, he's scared to death that Jew boy is going to rat him out, his fellow kike. So he went ahead and asked this little dark Swiss guy, "Are you a Jew?" And the little dark Swiss guy said, "Yeah." And I had to laugh. I didn't laugh at the time. Oh, by the way, if you listened to me in the parking lot, I had the same maniacal laughter before I got sent to the nut house. But anyway, he asked, and I was just kicked back. I was sitting on the north side. Linder was on the east. Ben Vineyard was on the west, and this little dark guy was pretty well asking Linder questions. And I don't think there was a cameraman. He was trying to get, he had interviewed Butler and Roper, and essentially he wanted to interview some intermediate lights. Roxy wanted to go on home, but essentially I wouldn't let her. They had beer, of course, which was, in them days, Billy Roper's, one of his main draws. There was, I think, 21 of us, and Roxy was the only female there. And I think the European film crew had 2 or 3 girls here, but the main guy was this little dark Swiss guy. So anyway, Linder asked him if he's a Jew, and the guy says, yeah. And Linder just draws back, and like he's scared this guy's going to bite him or denounce him or something like that. And I'm just kicked back, and I'm enjoying it because I was 19 months stationed in Germany for fire direction control for a Lance nuclear missile battalion. I was in a line battery at that. And, I knew that Germans, polite Germans say yeah instead of saying like Americans do. And Linder was just looking scared. Ben Vineyard took pity on him, and you see Ben Vineyard. He's a sort of skinny guy, looks like Skeletor, and he says, "You're not a Jew, are you?" And the little Swiss guy said, "Kinda Jew," which meant not a Jew, not Kleine Jew, like Linder, a little Jew, kinda Jew, and then Linder started breathing normally. And regrettably, even when those lead acid battery packs for them old VHS RCA video cameras were new, they only lasted 2 hours, and this one only lasted an hour and a half. So essentially, I didn't get everything on the tape. I went ahead and digitized it. I sent a copy in 2 CD-ROMs. At the time, they didn't really have DVD cutting or DVD blanks when it was coming out. So they had CD-ROM cutting. I made it 2 blanks, added some stuff here, added the add the news, and I'll go ahead and put that up on my forum now. It's up that Brian Rio is going to be in for the long haul suing. But in any case, that's what Linder, I can't believe that anybody doesn't believe he's a Jew boy. I mean, heck, even Wiggerswill in one of the hacked Forafag Phoebes archive or fora leaks sort of was telling Banjo Billy that Linder's a Jew, or everybody thinks he's a Jew, and that's why he's scared to talk about it here. So in any case here, folks, if you want to believe Linder ain't a Jew, that's fine. But essentially, the easiest way to understand Linder is that essentially Linder was an abandoned California Jew boy. He was an abandoned California Jew boy who essentially didn't make it in neocon thought, was abandoned. And then Pierce, with the order money, found the little Jew boy and decided to make a second front, and that's when he got Linder up. Then when Pierce died, Linder didn't have anything. All he had was Billy Roper, and Billy Roper had a brand new, you see what Stormfront was doing, so he had a brand new V-Bulletin license for $160, and he had essentially had a server run by Tom, I think his name was Tom Martin in Charleston, West Virginia. So, in any case, Billy Roper, in March, Trader Glenn Miller, found out that I was essentially talking shit about him on BNN, and then he got Alex Linder to come in, and Linder immediately just loved that Melungeon, now faggot, drunken Indian. Loved that drunken Lumbee Melungeon, and especially loved his money. And I did talk to one of the Christian identity guys in Kansas. Says, what would happen if Trader Glenn Miller was here? He says, oh, there'd be a riot. I mean, we would beat his ass. Do you know that he informed on this man, or tried to inform the Senate President? I said, oh yeah, I know. I'd talked to Louis Beam and Kansas Lane about it. So, in any case, Trader Glenn Miller didn't show up. Linder showed up. Corncob showed up. Billy Roper, he would have liked Jeff Shoup and his NSM to show up, but they insisted on running around as professional Nazis in their little uniforms. So essentially, Billy Roper said no Klan robes, no Nazi uniforms. I mean, essentially, this is a serious protest of the 50th anniversary of Brown versus Bored of Education. And if you listen to the video, you will hear there were 2 helicopters flying every single 180 degrees from each other, and they were just simply circling. And there must have been 400 niggers, and wiggers and mamsers, and probably about 10 or 15 Jews there, facing 21 of us and one female, Roxy, And essentially, I'm going to go ahead and put up the raw video. Any of you who want to do that out in YouTube land can, work with that video. Essentially, if you make money off it, I want to cut here. So send it on to Pastor Lindstedt at gmail.com. But essentially, I'm going to make the raw video. Corn cob, if you look, he had a little bitty video, but it was a little bitty it was a little bitty, one of these things that sold for about $65 back at the time, and corn cob had just played it. So you see the genesis of Linder thinking about doing rallies like he did Knoxville later, and you see the beginning of Pod Blank at that May 2004 rally. And after that, they're pretty well the majors are still in the movement. Ron Doggie was there specifically for David Duck Euro. Ron Doggie goes ass to mouth with Trader Glenn Miller. I think he was one of the ones who thinked me out. Essentially, you go ahead and you get to see people. As I was getting off, Roxy, I think, was videotaping me. She wasn't carrying any signs. And Linder was scared, and he was looking at me. And I was running for governor of Missouri at the time. And I have a very loud voice, which has been developed because May is the time when I run for, governor, United States senator, or whatever, sheriff, when essentially the Republicans or whoever try to cut the microphone off. And so you got to make yourself heard when they cut the microphone off, and essentially you are doing this on your own time. You are doing this on your own nickel. Essentially, you're doing it against hatred by Wiggers and Mamsers and the rest who recognize that you are their enemy. And essentially, they want to shut you off, and they want to shut you down. So, in any case, Linder was looking at me, and essentially I just yelled, and essentially they were 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want your racial hate, and we would yell. I made up a cheer. 2, 4, 6, 8. We will never integrate. And pretty well tried to get them to think, do you niggers really want to live next to me? Now, I don't think they did. But in any case, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put up this video. Pretty well give it a sort of a Creative Commons in which anybody who wants to use it, and that'll probably include the Southern Poverty Law Center, that'll probably include the ADL, that'll include about everybody. I was running for governor of Missouri at the time, and I carried a sign, and that'll be on there too. Get down and behave. So, in any case, you have permission, but if you're going to make money off it, send me a cut at pastorlindstedt@gmail.com. So, folks, didn't chase that good car, did you? So, folks, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Call it a night for tonight. I'm going to get this video up, and essentially the raw video, part 1 and part 2, and then I'll put up on my forum the rest. And folks, you are at liberty, as I said before, to download it, look at it, copy it, disseminate it. But if you're going to make some money off it, send me a cut. So, folks, that's it. Hail victory.